Greetings and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Run, and today we're playing as Samson. One of the greatest things that you can get in the first item room is an item that essentially makes you invincible, and that's what Pyromaniac does. In a lot of cases, you're just never not happy to see Pyromaniac, just because it does allow you to do some pretty nifty things. If you can find any other items which can produce infinite explosions, that means that you're essentially invincible, but even without those items, you can still use your bombs defensively to kind of heal yourself back up after you've been get hit. But of course, I think that in a lot of cases, it's quite, I wouldn't say it's useless, but in a lot of cases it's probably not as good in dailies, just because you do tend to rely on devil deals a lot, especially on runs like this one that go only to mom. You do want to get those devil deals, so maybe you can get an increased chance of getting the shovel, which would then of course allow you to go further. So you would be kind of relying on the spirit hearts for not getting hit. So in other words, you're never really going to drop below a certain amount of health to use the active effect of Pyromaniac. Sure, in some cases maybe you can still say that it's not a bad item just because you can use it with bombs and maybe the blood banks or maybe the ivy bag or things like that, especially with a golden bomb or something like that. It does allow you to get an infinite amount of money if you can kind of afford it, and I think that's a very good point. Like I said before, I'm never not happy to see Pyromaniac, and it does have obviously a lot of great uses, especially with the items that came in Afterbirth Plus and Afterbirth and things like that. So like I said, I'm never not happy to see it, but I do think it loses some of its effectiveness, especially in daily runs, just because of how the whole meta of Isaac revolves around. But again, like I said, it's just an item to get very early on, just because you know that you're gonna be essentially invisible as long as you have maybe 2 red hearts remaining. Besides that, this was an unfortunate daily, and it had a lot of fortune and unfortune at the same time. And you saw me use a bomb there to find a secret room, or at least I was trying to find a secret room, but of course, because I was kind of silly, I forgot that I checked that spot already before, and I just used another bomb. And just because I had so many bombs, I wasn't really maybe thinking too much, I was just plopping them down whenever I felt like there was a secret room there. So that's exactly what I did. I plopped the bomb down and I found a crawl space, and usually that's good news. You walk into the crawl space and it's black market, which is even better news. You're never not happy to see black market in that case. And it had a ton of goodies for us. It had Champion's Belt, it had Bogo Bombs, which essentially doubles all of our bomb consumables, and it also had a deck of cards. All of these 3 items, in my opinion, are great, because they not only increase and give you some DPS, they just give you a lot more potential to get a very high score. So, of course, Champion's Belt increases the chance of you encountering champions. So first of all, because we're on easy mode, every champion will also give us a drop that they have. So that is either a key, maybe another battery charge, a bomb, or maybe any other consumables that they drop. Champion's Belt, and because it does increase the chance of you finding champions, every champion also does give you more points for beating them than just a regular enemy would, so that's also great in that case. Of course, it also increases your damage. Bogo Bombs just essentially doubles all of the points you get from your bomb consumable, just because it makes every bomb turn into 2 bombs. And Deck of Cards score is just useful because it does allow you to find a lot of cards which either double your consumables or maybe allow you to traverse the floors a bit quicker. And in this case, I decided to do the 5 dice room just because I did have the deck of cards, and I was kind of banking that eventually I'm gonna get an Emperor card, and then I can use that to actually teleport to mom, and then while I'm doing boss rush, I can keep using the deck of cards every 3 waves to get another card, which would allow me to teleport out of boss rush and then explore the rest of the floor. A part of that plan worked. I did get the Emperor card. Sadly, I didn't find a way to teleport out of boss rush, and obviously I couldn't hold on to 2 cards at once. So in that case, maybe I got a bit unlucky, but you might still be asking yourself, why did you say before that this run was unfortunate if it was so fortunate? Because you did find that black market, which you can presume that not a lot of people would have found, just because they might have checked the spot already and not wasted a bomb essentially like I did. Well, it turns out if you find a black market and have that, so to say, devil deal inside it, and you pick up some items, the devil deal that you get later changes. So if I didn't go to the black market first, I would have gotten to the boss room, and what I would have gotten was a shovel. And of course, everybody knows that the shovel on the run that goes to mom just gives you so much points that it's essentially impossible to catch up if you don't get it. So in that case, even though I did find the black market very fast, and of course before the boss, I was kind of gimped because I got Krampus instead, and of course Krampus doesn't give you anything. In this case, he gave us Head of Krampus. I didn't pick it up because I think the deck of cards is better, but just because of that, I was kind of short-combed for the luck I had. And of course, in the average case scenario, that's just maybe a bit of variance, a bit of me being unlucky, or not just me, of course, everyone who has found the black market before visiting their boss room. Just because in the average case scenario, that first devil deal won't contain the shovel, just because there are so many items, obviously. It's not even guaranteed that it's gonna contain any items at all, but in this case it did, and we did miss out on a pretty golden opportunity, even though I felt like I did pretty good, because I essentially did one whole floor because of the 5 dice room, and I thought I was really gonna be ahead of the curveball here. I even tried going for the angel deal so I could bomb the angel statues, but sadly they didn't really show up, and eventually I was kind of forced to take a devil deal just because I did try to increase my chances of actually finding the shovel later on. It didn't turn out how I wanted it to, but that's okay. I think that we made a good play, a statistically right play, which will pay off, at least in the long run. Here, I'm trying to get some more points by using the blood bank, but sadly it explodes quite fast, so again, a bit of unluck on our side, but still we did finish in a pretty comfortable spot. I think it was top 6% or something like that, and it will only decrease as more people play just because that shovel is so obvious. But besides that, I feel like I played very well. Our damage penalty is super low, our item penalty is almost higher than our damage penalty, so that's pretty indicative that you had a good run going on here. Our exploration bonus I think was decent because I did do a whole nother floor again. I think I found every single secret room and second secret room. It was a bit of a shame that I couldn't explore the entirety of this floor as well, Depths 2 or Necropolis 2 or whatever it was, because I think that would have given us an edge, or maybe there was a sacrifice room, we could have also used that to get to the dark room and just maybe compensated for our points that way. But still, I'm happy with how this run turned out, and I hope that you enjoyed it as well. I hope that you did find that shovel and that you were able actually to get much further and get a lot more points that way. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and I hope to see you next time.